Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to European Truck Simulator 2, and welcome back to, I'm going to say, Hunedoara, Romania. We just picked up a job. It's about 86k from here, so we need to get down there and get it. But we need to go pick that up, and then we're going to take it a little further into the interior. So, here we go. Turn the wipers up a little bit. Signal is on. And we are more or less right exactly where we dropped off. We had to drive about 15k down the street, I want to say, to get to the little parking area where we just slept. We just fueled up, and it's 7 in the morning, so we're good to go. I think it's going on 8 now, but still, you know what I mean. So I think we're set to move a little deeper into Romania. And I'm really enjoying this DLC. You know, I thought this was going to be kind of a slow month for gaming, or at least for my kind of gaming, and instead there's been quite a bit going on. I've been really pleasantly surprised with all the stuff that's happened, and I'm really enjoying this DLC. You know, when we pulled into the little parking lot over there to sleep last night, there's a functional gate to get in there, and the parking lot is sort of separate from the fuel stop that was next to it. And that fuel stop itself, there are 2 fuel stations, but only one of them has a trigger. Concentrating. There's 2 fuel stops, only one of them has a trigger, and so we stopped at the one that had the trigger, but there was one on both sides of the highway. It got me wondering, like, why would the developer not have a trigger on both, right? Because in real life you would have, at a big sort of highway crossing like that, you would have fuel on both sides of the highway. I mean, you're not required to or anything, but it's very likely that you would, right? Competing fuel stops, competing truck stops. And it seems like it would be easy enough to put that trigger in, so I'm curious why they didn't do that, but that's not a complaint. I really am curious. But the parking area itself then was separate from that, and it seems like each of these DLC becomes a little bit more complex, a little more comprehensive, down to there's a functioning gate to pull into the little area where we slept, and that is, I believe, the first time we had functioning gates in base game was the Italia DLC. And just to clarify, because I said base game a lot last episode, when I say base game, I'm talking about from the developer. I realize that Italia is a DLC. We're in a DLC right now, so I don't mean it like that, but there was a gate mod, but I want to say that mod was kind of tricky, particularly with patches. It was problematic. But now we've got gates in base game, and it's just one of those little details, you know? It doesn't, in a way, it doesn't matter, and yet it does. It really contributes to the game. So I'm pleased with what the developers are doing. I'll keep saying that. Credit where credit is due. And then over and above that, we've had, you know, Utah was just a little while ago. We're kind of working on that. We've got DLC coming for... turn right. Okay. I don't even see where. Oh, there it is. We've got DLC coming for... Wait. What?
Turn right.
Interesting. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I say it's getting more and more, like, complex. Just little details like this. Carefully. All right down here. Okay. Fantastic. And then we're going to a quarry. We're picking up stone of some kind. I want to say it's marble, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, DLC here and there. God, our frame rate though. This is really surprising, because our frame rate has been actually really good since we've been in 1.36, and it's just hammered right now. I'm curious why. Could be because of the rain, could be because of this area. Who knows? What the hell was I talking about? December, right. December. There's just all kinds of stuff going on in December that I really wasn't expecting. And it's been fun. I thought December was going to be kind of a slow month. Golly. Okay. But is there a narrow bridge? Yeah, there certainly is. We got one of those. All right. Through there. Fantastic. And what else? The iRacing, the new patch for iRacing. I've been working on skins for cars. I have, there's like probably 6 cars that I drive regularly. 3 Fords, a Mercedes, and then the Spec Racer Ford and the Miata, although I'm getting ready to graduate from the Miata, and I'll get to that in a minute. But I got the skins skinned, and that was fun. And the, you know, it's weird how much developers rely on the community, because the support from iRacing as far as how you make those adjustments to your own skin, right? So they kind of make a big deal of the fact that you can now have surfaces, right? You can have smooth, you can have rough, right? This or that. They make a big deal of it. Cool, everybody wants that, but then they don't really tell you how to do it. They just tell you that it can be done. And it's up to the community, as always, to like sort it out. Find yourself a YouTube video. And, you know, somebody has to make that YouTube video. Somebody has to take time, and, whoa, Santa is taking up. He's taking this all very seriously. Go, Santa. Somebody's got to make that video explaining how to do this. And then you've got to find the video. And, you know, I love iRacing, but the video that they had linked on their official page as far as how to do this was, read through the comments there. People were not pleased. It was one of the, it was very well intentioned, and I appreciate that somebody took the time to make that video, but it was like, oh, this is not helping me. Not helping me. Right. So we go, oh man, I keep hitting the wrong button every time we get to a menu. This one is the one we want. There we go. Cargo market. And we're taking this job. We're going to Pitești. Right, 330K. That's going to be a minute to get there. And it is marble. Okay. And it is 40,000 pounds. Okay. Now, where do we pick up? Looks like the back corner. So brake is off. How do we get to the back corner? Looks like I'm gonna go, I think I want to go this way. Can we get all the way around and then back in? Yes. Yes, we can, maybe. Maybe? No, I don't think we can go under this thing, can we? No, we cannot. Okay, no problem. So we're gonna back in. Oh, here we go. Backup beeper. This might be another 2-part video. I think we're going to be at probably 15 or 20 minutes by the time we get loaded up and get out of this yard, and that's not really enough time to go another 300K. But we'll see. We'll improvise, as we do. So somebody that I talk to a lot on Discord is now playing this game. They got it, and they're doing a lot of stuff in cab. Props to you, my man. This game is, it's an interesting game, for sure. And you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want. Well, I take that back. You can't necessarily make it easy, but you can certainly make it a lot more difficult. And playing in cab exclusively, I think, is one of the ways to do that. Yeah, is there anywhere else over here that we could have turned around? I don't really know that there is. I think the only way to get in here is to back in. And we gotta back into a little stall, too. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I ain't scared. But this game, I'm telling you, man, every DLC, it gets more and more demanding. You know what I'm saying? It gets more and more, I feel like the devs are having some fun. Good on them. Alright, so we go right in here. Okay. Well, if nothing else, we got it in one swing. Curious what this looks like when it's loaded up. Camera collision. Alright. So put it back in gear. Or out of reverse at least. Engine is off. Let's load up. And with all this messing about now, it is definitely... Ooh. Okay. No, we didn't hit. Almost hit. So, first gear. Let's pull through here and... Oh, you know what? The rain stopped and the FPS came back. Okay. So that was... I don't want to say that was the problem, but... Certainly seems like that was contributing. Get our wipers off here. And let's go over here. Take a look at our cargo. Yep, that works. That works. Okay. So we hop in here, find a good gear, and we're on our way, finally. That's not bad. 10 minutes. Okay. So we got to go back across that narrow bridge to get back to the highway. Then it looks like, looking at the sat nav, we got to go make a left and then a right. Oh no, we need to go back up that narrow road to get back out onto the highway. The turnoff that we took to come down here, we need to reverse that. I want to hit the sign. Beautiful. Ooh. You know what I mean, though? What did I hit? What the hell? What did I hit? It says we just took 1% trailer damage. I don't know about that. All right. There are some phantom collisions on this game. And that's, I guess, sort of going to lead into something else I wanted to talk about. Something I've been noticing. So games aren't perfect. We know this, right? And I think it's unreasonable to expect them to be. And, you know, something that I've noticed about the way people game, like we play sim games, right? And these games, I have to say, are pretty immersive. We know they are. We want them to be. And I guess when we play a certain type of sim game, it's okay to be immersed. Like, that's the whole, you know, yes. But then other games, it's like, no, you don't want to be that immersed. And then on top of that, there's another sort of type of player. And I'm sure there's some people that play sim games like this. In fact, I know there are because I've seen them in multiplayer. There are some people that when they're playing a video game, they're just playing a video game. They don't take it seriously at all. They may take the result seriously in that they want to win, but how they get there, they don't care about. So in trying to bring all this together. In my head, it makes perfect sense. I just need to find a way to say it to you. So something like ETS multiplayer. You know, people want to play with 25,000 horsepower trucks that go 300 miles per hour. And they want to deliver the job. They just do it in a way that is, to me, ridiculous, right? They're not taking the actual mechanics of the game seriously. They're just playing and having fun. And I think that's true of all types of games. You know, you can find that type of player. And then there's another type of player, I guess the type that I would describe myself as, where I want to play realistically. And I feel like each side, you know, it's like skiers versus snowboarders. I don't know if you've ever been caught up in that debate. But snowboarders say skiers are fossils and, you know, it's just old rich people that don't know how to have fun, and et cetera, et cetera. And skiers tend to say that snowboarders are hooligans, and, you know, it's getting a little better because snowboarders are older now. Snowboarders used to be like all, you know, people in their 20s, and now there's snowboarders in their 50s and 60s. It's been around long enough, but it's that same kind of debate. Each side points to the other side and says you're doing it wrong. And I feel like when it comes to gaming, you know, you have that same debate, and you see it on forums, you see it on Reddit, where it's sort of the get good mentality, you know,
Turn right.
or the one that I like is, now what's going on here? Okay, there, that's parked. So if we get back down to first here, I don't want to go third person, but this is, I'm concerned because I really can't see too far down there. Yeah. All right, we're just going to have to hope for the best. You see it on Reddit periodically. And you see it you see it on mod sites. Because there's always somebody releasing all they've done is go in and edit the XML file. But in Farm Sim, you'll see somebody release a combine harvester with a 100,000 liter grain tank and a 100-foot wide header. And you'll see people say, man, why are you even playing the game at this point? You've cheated it so far outside the limits of reality that why even bother? And the response is, because it's fun. I like to have fun. I think it's fun to play with a 100-foot header. I think it's fun to harvest a giant field in 2 minutes, going 60 miles an hour. I think that's fun. And there's really no answer to it. Bottom line is, however you want to play, man. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Because for the most part, a game like Farm Sim or Truck Sim is kind of a single-player game. And sure, you can play however you want. You're not hurting or interfering with anybody. Until you are. And that is, I won't mention the game by name. It was something that I was thinking about getting. It is, I'm really into The Division. What I don't like about The Division is the monsters, right? Where you got 8 people, 8 high-powered characters just mag-dumping thousands and thousands of rounds directly into a boss monster to kill it. I would prefer, the more tactical one-shot, one-kill sort of take on things. And there is an outlet for that craving. It's called Squad, and it's brutal. I've never been in a game with a learning curve like Squad. I don't know how you get good at it. I don't know how you survive long enough to learn anything. It's unbelievably difficult. I think you would need to get in a clan and find some people that could really shepherd you through like a lot, because there's just so much to learn. Check out Karma Cut videos, the way he plays Squad, and it's intimidating, to jump into a game like that. And it's also one shot, one kill. And the times that I've played it, you're belly crawling through bushes, and then you're just dead. Somebody snipered you, you're dead, you're gone, and that's realistic. That's real life.
Get ready to turn right.
So, not everybody wants that. I'm looking for something right in the middle, and I also definitely like the loot aspect of something like The Division. There is no other game like The Division. It is a shooter. It is somewhat realistic, mostly realistic, other than, like I said, the monsters. But it's pretty realistic in terms of the environment, the guns, etc. But I'm looking for something a little bit more realistic. Now, Squad, like most FPS games, you start with kit. That's your kit through the mission. I believe you can pick up some things, but it's not. You don't keep that gear, as in real life. I mean, you're part of a military unit. At the end of your mission, you give your gear back to the quartermaster. And people seem to think that in real life, soldiers just like walk around with their weapons all the time, and they don't. At the end of when you go back on base at the end of a patrol, you put your weapons back in the armory. You don't keep those, and you certainly don't keep things that you like found on the battlefield. So Squad is true to that. You start with specific kit for every mission, and that's it. And in fact, it's somewhat limited. You play a role. All right, cool. Division, right? You find what you can and you keep it. You use it to level your character up. So I was looking for a game that was a combination of those two, and I found one. I won't name it because it's got some problems, but I found it, and it's I'm not even going to give you a lot of you know the game I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And the problem is that it's got some bad cheating going on in it. And again, it comes down to something that I've talked about before in videos. How do you get to decide how a person enjoys a game? And for something like what I was talking about earlier, overpowered trucks in single player, overpowered farm equipment in single player, who cares, man? You can hack the game all you want. Give yourself $1 billion. Give yourself 100,000 cows. Who cares, man? Single player. Play however you want. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. But when it comes to multiplayer, right, now where do we draw the line? And particularly, games are hard enough. Games are hard enough. And when you add in cheats, it's like, I don't want to say it becomes impossible, but if you're playing against somebody who's cheating, it is impossible. You can't beat that person, and that's the whole point. So for me, that's where where I would draw the line. And it is disappointing because I like the look of this game. But it's just not workable for me. That's too frustrating. You know, I get frustrated in iRacing, and iRacing is, there's really no cheating in iRacing. Although there is what I would describe as an unfair advantage, and the unfair advantage is money. You know, if you have more money than somebody else, you can afford to buy apps that go with iRacing, concentrating. And I use Joel Real Timing. And it's Joel Real Timing pulls data from iRacing. It sends it anywhere you want via your network. So I've got a laptop mounted above my main monitor where I can see live timing for an entire event in real time as I'm in it. And then I've got an old phone. Well, it's not an old phone, but it's a phone that I'm no longer using, a smartphone that I'm no longer using. And that clips to my steering wheel and essentially makes a Motec panel, right? And I forget what I paid for the Joel Real Timing license, like $50 or something. So don't flip. Ah, beautiful. So I can do that. I mean, it's not terribly expensive, but I can do that. And, you know, the quality of your rig. If you have a load cell brake pedal, you're going to be better in a GTE car. You know, a lot of things. You put that together and it's like, well, does that mean a person who's top flight in iRacing, using those technologies, using those assets and resources, like, are they cheating? Well, not really. And if anything, that's sort of real life. You know, that's how real racing is. The more money you have, the faster you go. So I think there's a part of us that, you know, I came up in a time when video games were something fun for everybody. You just had fun playing video games. And even when you played with people that were better than you still had fun. And I feel like we're maybe not moving out of that era. There's still plenty of games that you can play that are just fun. But I do feel like the very competitive American nature, I don't know how the rest of the world is, but speaking just for America, we are extremely competitive. We always need to be the best, the biggest, the most, the fastest, the loudest. That's just how most Americans are. There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of our national character, but it is part of our national character. And so I think that competitive attitude has begun to seep into gaming to a point where multiplayer it's getting harder and harder to find just sort of casual, fun multiplayer gaming where everybody's chilling. And even Trolls in Euro Truck, which is primarily a European game.
Get ready for turn.
You know, Trolls in Euro Truck are a huge problem. Always have been. I mean, Trolls in all kinds of gaming. Always have been. Griefers and campers and that sort of thing.
Turn left.
And timing. And that goes to, I guess, a bigger issue, and that is, how does a person get to have fun gaming? Because everybody's idea of fun is different, right? We know this. And I've seen threads for Division 1, right, talking about the Dark Zone. And what they're trying to do to get, or what they were trying to do, to get griefers sort of out of the Dark Zone. And make it more fun for people that just want that experience. And you know, some people obviously are even when they go to a thread, even when they're on Reddit, they're still just trolling. It's just what they do. That's fine. But I did see some very lucid, obviously adult, articulate, well-reasoned responses. And one that I saw over and over was, hey man, I paid $100 for this game, and that's how I like to play it. I like griefing people. I think it's hilarious to make somebody cry. And I paid for the game, and that feature is not disallowed, and so I'm going to do that because I love it. Okay, you know, I don't know how much fun you are at parties, but that's valid. Even if I disagree with it, I can understand it. That makes perfect sense. But what about the other person who can say exactly the same thing, right? I bought this game too, and there are features of it that are not available to me because people like you know, sort of take them off the table. Ooh, thought they were going for it. And I know I've mentioned this before. I know I have. But it's like, yeah, well, that's real life. That's how real life functions. It's kind of not cool. And I think, yeah, but shouldn't games not be like that? Or should there at least not be an option? Right? That if you don't want that you can just go and, you know, play and have fun. And for a developer, you know, I'm not saying they have to sort that out. But I think that's a goal for a developer, is to make games accessible to everyone, knowing that a component group of everyone is people that are really, really good at games. And knowing that a component of everyone is people that like to grief, and right? And so on and so on. That wasn't a ticket, by the way. I think that was our loan payment coming out. So I don't have an answer for that, but I'm going to stay away from that game. It's disappointing. It looks really good. It looks like it has a lot of the things that I'm after, but just that griefer aspect, I'm not going to risk that. It's too frustrating. And it's less the Care Bear aspect, you know. If you don't like being tortured in a video game, that means you're a Care Bear. And I think, no, it's not so much that. It's just distracting. I don't know what it's like. It's like, I don't know. It's like something. I don't mind. I don't mind when there is I guess a more organic challenge within a game, simply not being as good as somebody else, but knowing that with time and practice, you can at least improve. Maybe not ever be as good as that person doing what they do, but you can, at the very least, get better. You can see improvement. Maybe now and then you can even get lucky and beat that person, or, you know, in some way sort of represent. But when you get into things like,
Get ready to turn
well,
left.
again, I won't say anything specific because then you'll know what game I'm talking about. But when you get specific cheating and hacking behaviors that
Turn
there's
left.
simply no way to compete against, I think at that point it's, you know, there's just no reason to be here. And even that, on the part of people that like to cheat at video games, that is also part of the fun, is to get you to quit playing that game. That's a win. And I think for the most part, we're going to pull in and park up here because we're at 29 minutes. So yeah, we'll call it for today. We'll finish the next part next episode. But yeah, I think you see what I'm saying. Like, to me, I view that as a genuinely broken person. Like, there's something wrong with you. That's you know, I like competing, I like winning, but I don't like bullying. I don't like beating up on the weak, and I certainly don't like I got no patience for that. I've never been particularly tolerant of bullies. So we're going to pull in here. I think we're right about at 30 minutes. And I think we've got some daylight left, and I think we've got some sleep left, like time until we need to sleep. So we're okay there. I'm going to put her in neutral here. And we'll hop out and take a look at our cargo, and then we'll call it, and we'll continue this next week. Yeah, I'll pivot around and get a better screenshot, but that's it for right now, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of European Truck Simulator 2. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.